Welcome to a very, very special holiday edition of Alleged Tea. On this episode, we're switching it up. Emily sadly is tending to her tons of children, so we'll be joined by Gregory and Jan, chatting everything housewives, Bravo gossip, and a few holiday treats. So let's get into it.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Gregory. Happy holidays.
Hello, Jan. Happy holidays. I feel like we may have gotten some coal in our stocking this year from the producers of The Real Housewives of New York.
Oh, we're definitely going to be getting some, that's for sure. Oh my
I know that
gosh.
we were talking about in the group chat the idea of the correlation, I should say, between
Mhm.
their each of the women's net worth and what they're willing to share on camera. I wanted to kind of like pick your brain more about that.
I got really curious and I started kind of just checking everybody's net worth. And I think this is my theory. I think the more money you have, like the higher your net worth is, the less fucks you give. So therefore, I think like you're more willing to just be more real on camera because it's not like you're looking for endorsements or anything like that. And to me, New York, a lot of them, I think Becky Minkoff is the highest. Her net worth is 10 million, but most of them are like within the 1.5 to 5-6 million dollar like range of net worth, which means like there's a lot of opportunity for them to like make more money, like being on the show, getting endorsements and deals and branding and stuff like that. So my theory is we're getting a lot of self-produced stuff on, as
Mm.
well as like a lot of like not real reality because they're trying to keep it like as neutral as possible to get those kind of deals. But what it's really hurting the whole brand in my opinion.
And
So
it's making for less than exciting programming. Well, from high net worth to high body count hair, a franchise that is extremely exciting and I'm very into and I can't get enough of is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Specifically, um, I mean, I didn't see this coming. So, very famously, it's been memed to death. A few episodes back, Lisa, although she was trying to be kind, was caught off camera, quote unquote, off camera, hot mic moment. And they also used subtitles where she was asking her friend or suggesting to her friend when she was confused, Brittany, right? When Brittany was
yes.
accused of having high body count hair, Lisa thought she was being gentle and kind by just careening her head a little and saying, well, you actually really do need like a keratin treatment. And now, Jan, now what are we seeing coming from Lisa's socials?
The best fucking collab I've seen a housewife do. So Lisa was whispering to Brittany like she needs the Kerastase
Yes,
Thermonique.
yes.
I should learn how to say it. We sell Kerastase at the salon treatment for her hair. And it is it's like a heat protectant. So you put it on your hair before you blow dry and it really like smooths the cuticle down and makes your hair nice and shiny. So actually, kudos to Lisa for knowing her shit. So, so literally the other day, she posts a reel, and it is with Kerastase, and it was her promoting the Kerastase Thermalique line, and I have to tell you, I was like, I was like, this is the best fucking thing I've seen today.
When you shared that on social, I was like, "No, is this real?" Because honestly, I think Lisa is. I love it. I think I love brand integration when it makes sense. I loved that it was such an unexpected moment that they caught on camera that Lisa was trying to be like,
Mm-hmm.
not trying. She was just genuinely being like, "Oh, actually, Brittany, you could really benefit from this treatment," thinking it was caught off camera and off, not being picked up in the sound. So what's interesting is that Britney was recently on Watch What Happens Live, and she had also alluded to the fact that there is going to be more of this holiday campaign. So perhaps it's kicked off by Lisa, and then maybe you see like an actual how to or a before and after with Brittany. I mean, I just think it's like, I'm such a fan of marketing in general. Clearly, I work in marketing, but I just thought it was so seamless and so smart and like helpful as well. Like Brittany will now get the hair help that she needs.
It was brilliant, honestly, brilliant. And like we get the full like Utah, Salt Lake City trifecta because then Brittany got her hair done by Jesse, who is on Jay-Z Styles, who's on More Wives. So they did a reel together and
Oh,
she got her hair done at her salon. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, we're now like integrating different like different, we're like they're doing the most over there.
crossover, IP
So
crossover. And
crossover, yes.
kind of lost in the mix is Angie's salon. I just don't hear a lot about Angie's salon. Although she was on the
Yeah.
Today Show. She was on the Today Show, I think, plugging it a little. But it seems like kind of
Mm.
a brand endorsement miss for Angie, whose whole career is hair care and the salon industry.
Well, because didn't she gift Meredith Kerastase
Well, she
shampoo at
can't.
the bat mitzvah?
Meredith can't use it because of the
No,
sulfate.
no, because I know it's just like you should have known better, Angie. But also, like my understanding is, I think Angie and her husband they have mentioned that they want to open up another business. I don't know if it's salon or
Oh,
something outside of the salon industry, and I don't have any beef against like chain salons, but their salon seems like a chain. Like they have multiple
oh,
locations in the Midwest.
okay.
So that could be, well, I don't know. It could be like maybe they're doing like small marketing just because they're only in the Midwest, like Utah, I think, Indiana, Iowa, something like that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but um, so the last two episodes they've been on vacation. They've been in Mexico at Puerto Vallarta, and Lisa had
Powered
first
by
of all,
a PowerPoint
powered by Lisa
presentation.
Barlow. Wait, that is like I think she might be my high tea just of all of the like the
I mean,
endorsement from Carasas, the
yeah,
fucking like I
yeah.
want her to plan my trip. Like I need a PowerPoint for the next time I go on vacation.
And
So that was just
to
like
bring our listeners up to speed, in case for whatever reason you've discovered this podcast and you did not see this episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Jan is referring to a meticulously detailed PowerPoint presentation that Lisa Barlow put together prior to the girls' trip so that anyone involved with producing, I think the actual deck was for the resort, correct? Like what to have on hand. You'll have to Google this for those of you that are listening. You'll have to Google it. It is pristine. It is so detailed,
yes.
and it's just like, I mean, I want to see the Lisa Barlow travel agency franchise take off. Like I would watch episodes of her planning trips and then attending the trips just to like check in and see how it is, make sure everything's up to her standard. But
I between that and like Angie, like they all need spin-offs. Like Lisa Barlow Travel Agency, Angie Hair Salon, like Vanderpump Rules kind of S situation. Like I
mm,
would live for those kind of spin-offs. Like
well, I'm dating myself. I'm aging myself when I bring up this. But do you remember the original Bravo salon show? Do you remember the Australian woman, I
Sheer
believe,
Genius.
Tabitha?
Sheer, oh
No,
yes, so Salon
no, I was thinking about
Takeover. Salon Takeover.
Tabitha Salon Takeover. Wait,
Yeah.
what's Sheer Genius? Tell me about Sheer
Oh my gosh.
Genius.
Oh my gosh. Wait, Sheer Genius was a like another Bravo reality like competition show. And I think it was like two or
Wait,
three. seasons, and you
What?
were a hairstylist, and you were doing competition to to win the title of sheer genius. That's how they found Tabitha. Tabitha was on the
Oh,
first season, and
oh
she
my
did not win.
God.
She was like runner up.
She's such good TV,
Yep.
though. She needs to get back on
Yeah,
Bravo.
yeah. But so also Bravo, if you're listening, you should bring back sheer genius.
I mean,
It was such
I
a
think
mess.
I think I vaguely remember Sheer Genius. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but was there like a kind of Italian dark-haired man that also had another
Danish.
no, he was
Renee,
like no, he was like
was it the
jo-
host?
Jonathan or something.
Oh,
His
yes.
his
Oh my
sister
God.
his sister started the Pussycat Dolls.
Yes, and he had for like a
He's like a
hot
big
second.
he had a
Yes, and he
show on
had
Bravo.
he got a show, and he had a like water filter like
Yeah.
thing where you would put the water.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know. That guy was. I need to
I thought you
Google
were
him
talking
because
about the host of Sheer Genius for a second. I totally
no, he
forgot
was like
about
it was like
Jonathan.
Jonathan's. It was like Jonathan's Salon or something. I need to look it up. It was like OG days of Bravo back when like they would show the Actor Studio. It would be like Real Housewives of
Right.
OC, some type of
Right.
show, Queer Eye, and then the
Yes, I
Actors
remember.
Studio. I need to look
Yes,
that up. I remember
yes.
thinking that guy was so hot. The like guy that
He was
like
handsome. He
led
was
the
handsome.
but from speaking of forgetting and having difficulty remembering, we have to pivot. I'm sorry. I have to pivot to talk about Camille,
Oh my
Saint
gosh.
Camille on the Real
Yes.
Housewives of Beverly Hills, forgetting a second time, years apart, Erica's name. Like, what?
Which is wild. You know something. First of all, we should preface and say this episode might just be like all over the place because because we're like jumping around.
Right.
I can't tell if I feel like now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, Camille is a shady lady. I think she's forgetting Erica Jane's name on purpose. I think she's like forgetting
I
it on
don't.
purpose.
I don't.
Oh, really?
Because if you see her pause, she's like, there's a little bit of like terror and then embarrassment and I actually don't think Erica believes that she's doing it on purpose. I think she's that like Camille she doesn't care. She doesn't care.
Right.
Like she doesn't need to care. She's set up for life. She
Hmm.
she doesn't have any real care in the world. So I believe her when she forgets Erica Jane's name for the second time within what is it, like 4 or 5 years?
I guess that is so funny.
We
I
have to
just
set it up
yeah,
though. We have to set it up.
yeah.
So to the pivot. So we are talking about the most recent episode of Beverly Hills, of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and all the girls, the women, are attending Kyle's Denim and Diamonds and Denim
Yeah, but
party.
I was so confused. I was like, what is this, her divorce party? Like, what is happening? Like, yeah,
Right,
but
and also
everybody was like,
I didn't see a lot of denim. I saw a lot of rhinestones. Didn't see a lot of diamonds, but
yeah, it was like a
that's another
rhinestone
conversation.
cowboy party. It was a
Yeah,
rhinestone cowboy party.
it was very much
So,
like just make it a Cowboy Carter theme. Like you've been inspired by
yeah,
Beyonce, just like make it a Cowboy Carter theme. Anyway,
I will
so they
say I feel
all
like
so
Kyle looked the best. She looked the
really
best out of all of them. I mean, I thought she looked.
I
I
think they
liked what
all
she
look
was
good.
wearing.
I thought
They all
Dorit
looked
looked
good.
cool. Yeah.
Dorit
I think
looked like a
Dorit
modern cowgirl. She looked
I
like
think she
I
looked
think it was like
cool.
yeah, she looked cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember I liked how Kyle looked. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So so all the women sit down and because it's a party, Kyle invited her friends. So enter Camille Grammer. Like, uh, me for me, a personal favorite, just because of the chaos that she always interjects into
Oh
that
my
group.
gosh,
Um,
that is true.
and she didn't let us down. She did not let us down. So Dorit and Kyle and Garcelle, they're all having this like major conversation. And then literally out of the blue, they're all kind of coming down on Dorit. Sutton and Dorit are having, a pretty big issue. Sutton kind of
Yes.
goes makes a hard left. Even Jennifer Tilly, Sutton's very good friend, is like, "Girl, I don't really
Yes.
know what you're trying to say." Garcelle even is like, "Honey, this is the dots aren't connecting." Whatever. They kind of simmer down. They agree like not to. They agree to disagree and to support each other. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Camille Grammer, who's like, and Dorit, I have a bone to pick with you. Literally like 3 years after the fact. And the producers, God bless them, they start digging up archival black and white footage. This is a
Like
visual
to
cue
add
to
to the
prove,
drama.
right, to prove how old this argument, this comment is. And they showed Dorit very playfully, actually, at the time. I don't think she was trying to be aggressive or mean towards Camille. I think
Mm-hmm.
the shot that they showed was just Dorit having fun. But she uses the "see you next Tuesday" term,
Uh-huh.
and the fight breaks out between in real time now. Now we're back to present day,
Yeah.
and Camille and Dorit get into it over, if they called them a stupid see you in see you next Tuesday, or
Right.
a
Yeah.
dumb, or a effing see you next Tuesday. And it was so
Oh my
wild. And then
gosh.
finally you see this kind of like shift happen in Dorit, which is she's leaning more and more into this newfound like, I really don't care, and like I'm not here to like argue, or I'm just gonna say what I want. And she
Mm-hmm.
just gives it to her. She's like, "You're wrong. I called you a stupid geek." I was like, "Oh my God." And then they're like quiet. And she's like, and then Camille's like kind of shocked.
Yeah.
And then she points to Erica. She's like, "And then we go to this one's house." And she pauses, blankly stares at Erica. And Erica's like, "My name's Erica." Because Camille, it was just like so wild. And I was watching it with my husband, and my husband actually really enjoys Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills Housewives. Like, he loves it.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, she can't really forget this woman's name. Like, Erica's been a cast member for like, what, how many seasons now? 6, 7? Like, it's a
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
extended period of time that
Yeah.
also outside of the show, Erica's known pretty
Well,
well
yeah,
as
in the tabloids and stuff like
yeah,
that.
or even
And then
like
she's also got her
her
singing career and
of
stuff like that.
course.
I mean,
Yeah.
tabloids, like, meaning like the divorce has recently been all over the place, but before that
Yeah.
she was singing and doing shows and stuff. So yeah, she's
Yeah.
got like a following.
It was wild. And then Garcelle, all you hear, Garcelle, wow. It's just
Yes.
like,
First of all, I was checking my notes because I was like, wait, what did I write about this? And
I love
I
that you take
like
notes.
I do, because I need to like make sure like what are we discussing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like first of all, yeah, Camille like grasping for some relevancy of the like to like this. Well,
Do you
I'm here to like pick a
do you
bone,
think
a
that's what it
3-year-old
was
bone.
though?
I mean,
See,
look, I
here's the
think like
thing.
what, yeah.
I don't I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't need relevancy. Like, I think she's so beloved by the network, and she's
Mhm.
definitely is a favorite of Andy. I honestly feel like she is just so unaware, and she's like, "Oh, and now I'm here," and I don't
I mean,
know.
it could be, but then I think if you're that unaware, or if you're that uh like who cares, then why bring up something that happened between you and Dorit 3 years ago? Like, why are you still, like, you know what I mean? Like, I could never imagine Kathy Hilton bringing up a beef she had with someone 3 years
Oh
ago.
no,
She's too rich to care. But my first
right?
of all, my favorite nickname that I've coined is Dorit no fucks Kemsley. Like she just gives no fucks anymore. And I'm kind of living for it. And like her just kind of like saying, yeah, well, you want to bring this up, then let's go back and forth. Let's have a back and forth. Let me actually tell you what I did call you and what I'm calling you now. And that I think was like the shock of it all. And I have to say, um, like Sutton trying to be the voice of reason.
It was so awkward. There's a lot of
Yeah.
so I mean, I've been seeing a ton of discourse on the internet, social media
Mm-hmm.
specifically, about Sutton and Garcelle's fall from grace as being like, last season the favorite dynamic duo, and they're kind of falling out of people's good graces. And I don't get it. I'm not seeing. I mean, I know why separately Sutton isn't everyone's favorite, because she's kind of scattered in terms of it's very
Mm-hmm.
difficult for her at times to make a point. Like, I just did not understand what she was going after Dorit for. Um, but why do you think people are falling?
A lot of people, well, I was same on the interwebs. A lot of people were like, didn't understand why Sutton was coming at Dorit. And I think it was like from the episode previously, because they got into this big fight when they were in the back of I don't know, they were in the bus or something coming back from their trip that they
Yeah.
had gone on with Kathy. And they were having this back and forth. I don't remember what. I forgot what it was about. But it had to essentially do with Dorit, like her tone and talking and how she was talking to people and all that stuff. And listen, like she's going through like a tough time in
Right.
her life. So of course she's going to be like short-tempered, easily irritated,
Right.
and I think
She's
like
not
there
going to
could be
be
some.
she's not going to be perfect or as measured as she was in the past. Like,
Yeah. Totally. But so I think that like the fall from grace for
that's not
Sutton and
pain.
Garcelle is like, I feel like the fall of grace for them is basically like they seem to be butting into things that have nothing to do with them. Like so like a lot of people were coming for Garcelle when she brought up the whole like, well, you said you were friends with Teddy, and like then
Oh.
we're coming from for like then Garcelle is like, oh, I think PK planned the robbery. So I think like,
Oh, I
yeah,
oh my god, that made me like, I gasped when she
yeah,
said that on the deck. So we're talking about a moment in this episode where Sutton comes over to Garcelle's finally finished beach house, which is
yeah.
fantastic.
Hmm.
And they're sitting
We
on the
love that for
deck,
her.
and or like the over some kind of the
Yeah,
balcony
like a
area,
balcony or something.
right?
Uh-huh.
And they're just discussing like what's going on and all the chaos with, specifically with Dorit, and how they're both kind of surprised and shocked. And Garcelle drops a bombshell in confidence slash clearly on camera that
Right.
she has never thought that Dorit had anything to do with it.
Mhm.
But she does not necessarily believe that PK was unaware of, a plan or the robbery, which is so wild. I mean, this reunion is going to be explosive. The fact that, like,
Oh my
you can't.
gosh, yeah.
I was so shocked that Garcelle said something like that, because Garcelle is smart. She has a production company. She's moving through multiple projects at a time. For her to say that on camera, like, is it grounds for defamation? Like, could you?
I mean, cuz I
I
guess
don't.
it's speculation. So it's not like it's like she's speculating that she thinks he had
Yeah,
something like involved
I was
in some
shocked. I
involvement in it.
I was absolutely shocked that
Yeah.
she um made that. But wait,
But I will say this. I will say this.
yeah.
I listen to a lot of con artist podcasts, like podcasts about people pulling
Oh,
cons and
like
stuff
true
like that,
crime. Like true
like true
crime? Is
crime.
that okay?
And yes, and my girlfriend just told me about how she was just a victim of fraud. And this is what I will say, alleged tea, speculation. Maybe Garcelle is onto something
Ooh, that's so
because
dark. Their children
It
were
is
there.
very, I know,
She
it's
was alone
very
with her
dark.
children when she
And
was
maybe
robbed.
he didn't know that, or maybe that wasn't part of the plan. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I'm not saying like, what I think is there are some sick people out there that if they find themselves in situations where they're like hard up for money or whatever, and they know how to work a
Oof.
system, that
Dark.
you could file for your like like insurance
Yes.
claims on things.
Clearly. Of
And
course. Of
you know,
course.
and so I would hope that he was not involved.
Yeah.
I truly want to believe that he wasn't involved. But like when you listen to some of these scam artists and how dark they are, it is wild. It is really, really
I
wild.
well, Jan, the one holdout I have in this scenario and the speculation is I like to read. I think she's a smart woman. I
Hmm.
don't think PK is that smart. I don't think he's smart enough to pull it off. But uh,
Yeah,
making
and sometimes, yeah, and that could be very true. But if they, I mean, well, no, because the investigation on it is done, right? They
it's
did they
over,
catch the
yeah.
people? They
No, but
caught the people that
I
broke in.
believe, I
Mhm.
believe they found pieces that were stolen. None of the jewelry, none of the clothes, but like something. I think the
Right.
bag that things were stolen in. But I'll say
Hmm.
this. I mean, listen, that's pretty dark, but in the
Yeah.
lightness that is the holiday season that's upon us, why don't we take a moment and in lieu of Emily being able to share her high tea and her drip drop, um, why don't we share a favorite holiday memory that is Housewives or Bravo themed? Do you want me to go first so it gives you a second to think?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Mine's really simple, but it is my dream, and I hope I'm going to actually like DM this to Dorinda. It's my dream to see all of Bluestone Manor decorated for the holidays.
Ooh.
Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor. I believe it's coming to Peacock soon. Like there's going to be some type of show or a special. But I mean, her ability to transform, or I would say like transport people that walk through there to like
Hmm.
just a beautiful, special holiday like fortress is something that I need to go to. I need to Instagram there. I need to make all the content. And that is
Hmm.
my that's my Bravo holiday dream.
Ooh. Um. Okay, I have a confession. I'm not always like on top of the holiday Bravo stuff. So, but I feel like I have this vague memory that New Jersey did
Ah!
like a very Italian American holiday. Like they were making the cookies and all that. This might have
Two
been like early
words.
Jersey too.
Two words, Jan. Sprinkle cookies. Remember
Oh,
when
well, yes,
Melissa
yes.
brought Teresa the
Yeah.
sprinkle cookies? Oh, also
So here's,
props to Melissa for now
mhm.
launching her own Italian sprinkle cookie line.
Yes,
I think it literally
yes.
just debuted last week.
It did, and apparently, Bethany got the like PR package and like was on
Oh,
TikTok talking about it, and she said they were
oh,
fabulous. She said they were
I have to see
fabulous.
it.
But me being half Dominican and half Italian American, I would have to say that is like my like. Of course we're fighting. Of course we're offended. Of course, like, but the house is beautiful and everybody's dressed up. So it's like that might be like my favorite Bravo
I need
memory of
I
like
need
holidays.
I dream of a Teresa Seven Fishes dinner for Christmas Eve.
Oh yes, I agree.
Okay, Jan, before we go, I know you wanna the you wanna discuss the dick pic heard around all of Puerto Rico on the Real
Yeah.
Housewives of New York. We have Erin sharing a intimate photo um, of her husband, and I don't really remember. I don't really it being. It wasn't prompted.
Well, no, I mean, like Jenna and Bryn didn't solicit it. They were just joking around with her because she was like, "Oh, my husband needs a size large, like swim trunk," and Jenna with the jokes, which was very funny of her, was like, "Oh, there's nothing large about Abe," and then Erin was like, "You want to see a dick pic?" No, I don't want to see your husband's dick. Ew.
and then and then the details that they kept discussing. It was so. I'll say this. So kudos for Jenna not really discussing it in a sexual way, getting quite technical and being like, "Oh, so at this part, this starts," and it was
Mhm.
very interesting to hear her dissect the dick pic. I
Right.
think it's so. I just know that like the privacy, like I would feel bad for. You have to think about like he Abe didn't give consent.
Right.
It's very odd. It's definitely
It's
uncomfortable.
Yeah, there was like Abe didn't give consent. It's not like they necessarily asked for it. Like like she was the one who brought it up. And then like there's that intimate privacy between like a married couple. Like I don't know. The whole
Right.
thing was so weird. It was so
Right.
weird. It just adds to like, are we done with her? Can she be part of the recasting next season?
I,
Like
we know that they have experienced financial infidelity, but could this be content infidelity?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, let's coin that. Yes.
Right. Ah!
It
And
is
with that, I
content
think
infidelity.
And with that, I think we gave our producer, Chris, the title for this episode. We hope
Yes.
everyone is enjoying their time with friends, family, however you choose to celebrate the holiday season. This was a very different but a very fun episode of Allegedly.
Thanks so much for listening. And did you know that you can actually watch us on YouTube as well as traditionally listening to us on Spotify? And we hope to see you next week. And remember, everything you heard in this episode happened allegedly.